Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied and grew well for the hopeful 144 and the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. It's your brother, Kanan. This will be part two, the conclusion of inflation. Okay. Once again, I got to come with the fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. I am not selling a product. This is strictly for educational purposes. This America's entering a financial crisis. It's a good listen. He's a little dry and bland, but he's getting straight to the point. Lord willing, I will put this in the description of both videos. I've already uploaded the first part, but I'll still go back and, Lord willing, put this in the description because I'm not going to be able to cover all of it. But he's just hitting everybody with a little bit of common sense of what's on his way. Okay. Once again, we discussed the price of gold and silver skyrocketing. Gold going up to almost 100 ounce. Okay, and as of the first, China saying that they're no longer going to transport silver, so it's going to cause the fiat to plummet. Okay, so before I come with these last verses and close this out, I pray, Lord willing, this be edifying to the body.
Prices plus high interest rates, which that is just painful. That is a brutal environment to be in. And the reason that we have high interest rates is because the Fed raised rates aggressively to fight inflation. This was like back in 2022. We saw year-over-year inflation hitting just record highs. And part of the reason we saw so much inflation was because the amount of printing of money that happened in 2020 during the COVID crash. So basically what was happening in 2020 as well as 2021 is that the Fed cut rates, which then increases borrowing and spending. They cut rates because they knew that they needed to stimulate the economy because of COVID. They also gave out those stimulus checks. They were printing money like nobody's business. And then 2022 happens. We see a lot of inflation. The Fed then now has to go cut rates to lower the rate of inflation over time, which we have seen. Inflation has gone down, but year over year, inflation's still going up. Like you're still seeing prices go up 3% year over year or 4%, which is not as bad as 9%, but it's still year over year growth. We are still seeing prices go up. So because we're in a high interest rate environment, that means that borrowing is now more expensive. So that goes for credit cards, mortgages, car loans, anything that you are going to use debt for, it all costs more money because interest rates are higher. And the thing that is so brutal about this is that Americans kind of got hooked on cheap money. And what I mean by this is from 2008 to 2021, the Fed had very low interest rates. It was very easy to get loans. We had stimulus money back in 2020, as well as the stock market and the crypto markets just absolutely pumping over the past 10 to 15 years. And people, I feel like, got used to winning financially without trying. Now, I'm not saying that, 2008 wasn't bad, because it absolutely was. Like, that was a brutal recession.
So you got all these handouts, and that's what they are. They're disguised as help, but they're handouts, while they cripple your ability to actually physically do the work, whether it be through legislation, through cutbacks. It's once again all planned for this new world system, okay? That you will own nothing, all right, and accept the conditions.
But the era of low interest rates and stimulus money and that sort of thing, I don't know if we're going to see that again. Hopefully we could see low rates again, but we'll just have to see how that turns out. It seems like that era is over, so people were addicted to cheap money. The next reason I think this could turn into a financial crisis is because companies are cutting back pretty heavily. Because there are higher rates, that means that there is less borrowing. Because if a company wants to go borrow, let's say $1 billion, and they have to pay a higher interest rate for it, they're less incentivized to because of these higher rates. And so because the cost of debt is higher, what we are going to see from a lot of companies is they still want to do good on their earnings. They still want to impress Wall Street. So they need to cut expenses and increase revenue as much as possible. And one easy way to cut expenses is to have a lot less hiring as well as having more layoffs.
You hear that? A lot less hiring and layoffs. Okay, so let's get it. All right. This is the book of Second Esdras. You should be familiar with this one. Second Esdras and 15. And we're going to go down to 14. Woe unto the world and them that dwell up therein. Okay? Same thing spoken of in the book of Revelations. Okay? For the sword and their destruction draw nigh. Okay? Nearer than you think. And one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. What's the modern day swords? Your any weapon that you can get your hands on. The bats, axes, actual swords, guns. Okay, we know the military complex. For there shall be sedition amongst men. What's sedition? Sedition is going at the government. Sedition is just not neighborhoods, gangs fighting against each other. This is the people against the government, against the rulers, and invading one another. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, who are kings and princes today, your senators, your governors, your mayors, your so-called presidents, your world leaders, okay? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What's that? Martial law. Okay? Don't you know that the legislation is already in place? It's been in place for the last 2 to 3 presidents, going all the way back to Obama, maybe even Bush. They've been having these laws against your what is it called? Statutes. Come on, man. I can't even Constitution that no longer exists. Rip it up, okay? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed. But and man shall be afraid, and a man shall have no pity, zero pity upon his neighbors, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, steal all their possessions, because of the lack of bread, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Okay, so it's going to be a frightening time to be in, and your so-called alliances will dissolve right in front of you. Okay, even Yahweh Shah said, brother against brother. Okay, and your foes should be them of your own household. These are warnings from the scriptures, okay, playing out in real time today. All right, we're gonna get a little bit more.
I actually work at a Fortune 500 company, and we are cutting jobs very heavily. This is a very common thing, it seems like, across the board. And a lot of companies are lowering their investment amounts. Don't get me wrong, some are doing really well and they're going up, but it seems like besides the Mag 7 companies, a lot of, just huge U.S. companies are not doing that good. So we are seeing a lot slower business growth. And like I said before, we saw a ton of job cuts in October, which is pretty alarming. I really hope that, the economy can bounce back. We will have to see here. But also housing is just completely out of sync. And I've even talked about that in a couple of videos now. We have people who...
So you see how this second address 15 is playing out. Okay, 14 down. It's playing out. It's happening right in front of your face, whether you have eyes to see it or ears to hear it. Okay? I'm gonna go fast forward to this part, because this is leaning into your own understanding, which the scriptures tell us not to. This is what Edom and all in 2/3 and all the nations think will happen.
This is maybe not realistic, but sometimes it is for people. It's just ask for a raise. Show data and show proof. Buy more. When the market goes up, you ride the wave up and you keep buying. And so keep things very simple. Diversify your investments. Just buy VU or VTI or SCHD. Just invest into index funds. I like VU the most. That is what I put all of my money into, and I dollar cost average, which definitely beats emotional investing. And all I'm saying when I'm saying dollar cost averaging is I just invest every 2 weeks when I get paid. It's really that simple for me. So you can absolutely use volatility to your advantage. I might even make an entire video talking about this if we start to see the stock market tank more. So far it's only down about 4% from the high, so really not much of a sell-off at all. But that's the third thing you can do. The next thing you could do is try to increase your income, and this is the most important part. A lot of people stay broke because they focus so much on expenses, but I feel like...
Now, see, that's enough. My point being, every man has a plan, okay? And what did Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan till we get hit, okay? See, when the Lord hits, it's gonna stay. It's gonna be permanent. This is not gonna be no more test runs that they put us through. A slightly collapse. No, this is one more time. This is the usher in a new time. Read Revelations 13. Started 15, 14, and go all the way down. Okay, and finish the chapter. He calls of all to receive it that mark, that karakma, karaks. All. And without it, you won't be able to eat, okay? And if you take it, then you're sold, okay? So we're going to end this like this. Because, like I said, everybody has a plan, but this is what the scriptures say. Isaiah, bear with me. Isaiah 65 and Salakia. I was right there, man. Okay. Okay. This is Isaiah 65, and let's start at 11. But ye are they that forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, that forgot my holy mountain, okay? His statutes, his government, his rulership, that prepare a table for that troop, and that flourish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, okay? Starting with our people, the 2/3 of our nation. And ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, this is to our people, ye did not answer. When I spoke, ye did not hear. Who did he speak by? The prophets. Amos 3:7. Okay, the prophets are speaking loud and clear. But ye did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighteth not, still serving these idols, still turning the Caesar boys' ear, still believing in spiritual Babylon, in spiritual Egypt, in spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, still going after idols, these other customs that belong to these other heathens, okay, the other nations. All right. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Allah, power. Behold, my servants shall eat. Who is the servants? The hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000, and then the 1/3 shall eat. But ye shall be hungry. So all of that stocking, having your doomsday bunkers full of food will do you no good in that day. Okay, this is how he told you to play it safe economically, here, there, invest in this, invest in that. You won't be able to do none of that shit will matter. If the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua says it's not for you, it's not your bread. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Now, once again, all of this plotting and planning around this will do you no good. Thus says these scriptures, okay? And with that, I pray that this was edifying. Shalom.